Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition, I guess, of our rant series. Simon and I are not quite sure exactly how to kind of title this particular episode, but we got Simon Bray on the Zoom line from the UK. I was just going to say good morning again. I was going to do it twice to you. Good afternoon, Simon. How are you doing today?
Still afternoon. I'm good, thanks.
Cool. So Simon and I were chatting, and we are both big Southern rock fans. All right, and it always amazes me how much like a guy from the UK loves like a very American brand of music, but I think it's really, really cool. So we always chat about the Outlaws and Skinner, so on and so forth. And then I found out recently he's also a big 38 Special fan, but he says, you know what, we should do a show talking about like latter day 38 Special, because all anybody ever talks about when it comes to 38 Special is that like big period from like what, 79 to 85 or 86, something like that. All those big albums, right? We know it's Special Forces, so on and so forth, which are all great. And everybody knows that stuff, and there's all those hits, but then all of a sudden they kind of like, you know, fell off the map for many people. And Simon was like, I love a lot of those albums. I would love to talk about them. So he's going to get the floor today for the most part. And we're going to talk. And Simon, what albums are we kind of talking about here?
Well, we're essentially going from After Tour de Force. We can rant all we want, but that is a great record.
Yeah.
I listen to that all the time. I've listened to it within the last couple of days. In fact, they're a band that I reach for all the time. Recently, we did a Zoom quiz, and we did a Mr. and Mrs. thing, and Mrs. Simon was asked, to name my favorite band, and correctly she went for Skinner. She got it correct. We got the 2 points. Yes, but I suggest that 38 are very, very much up there. Very much up there. I listen to them all the time, even though they haven't released a record for 16 years.
Is it that long already?
Yeah, Drivetrain. Yeah, I go back and listen to most of them very, very regularly. Yeah, even the first two that don't sound like 38 Special.
No, the first two sound like Lynyrd Skynyrd, right? Kind of, right? Big time.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because I remember like when I first started to get into 38 Special, like a long time ago, I remember thinking how kind of cool and different those first two albums were, because they were true like Southern rock albums. And I'm not saying that all the big, Wild Eyed Southern Boys and Tour de Force and Special Forces aren't Southern rock albums, but they're pretty polished. They're more mainstream rock and pop kind of focused. And while they're all from the South and they have those moments, I think those first two albums are very maybe stereotypical Southern rock. And the real great songwriting skills of the band hadn't really surfaced yet. And I know they've had outside writers and all that kind of stuff, but I think they really just started gelling as a band from a songwriting perspective, and they found their niche. They really kind of played off on it. So in saying that, so there came a time, and I'm trying to remember exactly when it was it 86 or 87, where at least here in this country, I can only speak for here, the album sales started to dip a little bit. You started to see them less on MTV, less top 20 songs. And then all they had they had that one big song later in the decade with Second Chance, right?
Second Chance, yeah.
And that was kind of it. I honestly, here anyway, I don't think 38 Special had another hit after that, and they kind of like fell off the map for a lot of people here. And you know how it goes, and it's probably the same over in the UK. It's like most people of a certain age group tend to gravitate towards songs they grew up with that were popular on the radio. And I guarantee you 60, 70, maybe 80% of the people here in the States who like 38 Special haven't listened to anything past that album, and certainly haven't heard Drivetrain.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know anybody else apart from me and my sons who have indoctrinated into liking 38 Special. I don't know anybody else that likes them.
Wow.
Anybody. And they certainly never toured regularly over here. And I was too young when they did.
So talk about some of those albums in question. So how many are there? About post the time that I'm talking about, were there 3, 4? I'm trying to remember exactly how many.
There's Strength in Numbers.
Yes.
Which is where I think they started going slightly downhill. Rock and Roll Strategy, Born Against Steel, Resolution. We'll ignore the Christmas album.
Which is that? Oh, come on, that's pretty good. You don't like it? That's fun. I play that every Christmas.
Yeah, right.
I won't even go there.
Yeah, and Drivetrain. Also, a couple of live albums as well that I think are worthy of attention. So, yeah, should I go for it? Let's go
Yes,
for
go
it.
for it.
Okay, so we've got. I'm going to talk about album packaging at some point later on today. We've got Strength in Numbers with a really cool album packaging. Yeah, on vinyl.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is arguably the best thing about this record. This might be my least favorite 38 special record. Maybe because I listened to it yesterday and I thought, God, the production. Oh, this is so mid 1980s. Really is so mid 1980s. And coming after Tour de Force, it's you know, bit of a letdown, I think. But it's got some good tunes on it. It's got some really good tunes on it, and some, shall we say, less good tunes on it. Somebody Like You, like that one, like Northern Night, relatively strong start to the album, and then goes down a little bit. Just a Little Love. It's just like this kind of mid 80s trend chasing, middle of the road rock, and I don't think it really comes alive until towards the end, when actually Donny Van Zant sings a song or two, which became infinitely more unusual as the band's career went on. So
He almost like kind of became like the forgotten guy there for a while.
yeah,
This was his band originally.
Yeah, I remember reading Bruce Dickinson's autobiography, and on that crazy time that 38 supported Iron Maiden, or was it the other way around? But either way, what an interesting bill that is. And he said that they had one of the Van Zants as a mascot, and I thought that's not right. And then you watch him and you think, and you listen to the songs, and oh yeah, you look at the live things, you think that guitar is not plugged in. He can't play that. He's just running around, and he can't, like you said, he just disappeared. And I like his songs quite a lot, as I'm definitely going to say later. But Strength in Numbers, meh. Especially after Tour de Force, which I think is virtually perfect. I think that's a great record. What I'd like to do is leap around in time and space before I come to the ones that I really, really want to talk to. So in 1997, there was Resolution, where they were down to being a 4-piece, which is interesting in and of itself. Plenty more Jim Peterick co-writes. Really like Fade to Blue. Deja Voodoo. Yeah, definitely liking that one. Miracle Man, Changed by Love. Me and My Homeless Guitar. Some good tunes. Doesn't necessarily sound like classic era. 38. And Drive Time, the last actual album, which is from 2004. That's 16 years ago. Sounds like anything else, unlike anything else in their entire catalogue. For many, many years, I thought, this is rubbish. Don't like this. No, don't like it. But recently, as you do, when you find you've got time on your hands, I've really reappraised it. I actually now quite like it. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think it's a good album. It is very different, though. I mean, the production is different. The songwriting's different. It almost doesn't sound like the same band.
Yeah.
So I've always thought, take off the 38 Special name on there. It's actually a pretty good record. It's like, oh, I don't know who this band is, but it's pretty good. Oh, it's 38 Special? Really?
Yeah. Some really good songs on there. Trooper with an Attitude, like that one. Ellie's Got a Harley. Jam On. More. I'd say it's just more groove based than anything else in the catalogue. And I think it's pretty strong, and I think it kind of sad that they haven't made anything else since. But I imagine, from what I know about America, that they just tour, play the hits, and everybody loves it.
They're a regular, like on the summer concert circuit here. Well, not summer concert circuit in 2020 thanks to COVID-19, but usually every summer you can expect 38 Special to roll into town, like on a like a Southern Rock Veterans tour or something like that. So them and Marshall Tucker Band and maybe the Outlaws or whoever, and nothing wrong with that, right? But that's all they do. There's no recording new music. And a lot of these legacy bands, that's kind of the attitude they've taken in recent years. Like, you know what? Why make an album? Because
Yeah.
friggin' nobody's going to buy it anyway. So let's just go out there and play the hits, and people will flock to see it. And that's okay, I guess. Guys like you and me would like to see records, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still like to buy them, unlike most people.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what I really want to talk about, and where I think you really went wrong with your analysis of 38 Special, are Rock and Roll Strategy, and particularly Born Against Steel. There are things wrong with both of these albums. For a band that at one point had two drummers, the drum sound on both albums are horrific. I'm prepared to give that. But if you can get past that, there are some great songs on both of these records. Actually, when I was just upstairs, Rock and Roll Strategy, I've got on vinyl and CD. World's worst cover, by the way. Absolutely horrific. Genuinely a terrible cover, but a good album, full of great songs. Rock and Roll Strategy, like it. This is obviously when Max Carl came into the band and Don Boynes went off on one, and most of the songs became sung by him. So again, didn't sound like the band did previously. But Little Sheba, what a tune! What a groovy tune! Coming Down Tonight, some really top quality melodic rock. Just before the advent of grunge, bad decision from the band there. Midnight Magic, the hit, Second Chance. Do you remember a friend of mine at university, when I showed him this, said, look at this, and he just went, poodle heard rubbish. Yeah, I can take that on board. But yeah. But then it was followed by Hot Answer. Yes, what a tune! There are so many great tunes on this. Chattahoochee, Innocent Eyes, Love Strikes, just great record. Take out the absolutely horrific What's It To You, and this is a top class album with top class songs. Thoroughly recommend it.
But is it Southern rock anymore, though?
Oh no, but it is closer to the classic sound, apart from the terrible drum. It's just really good songwriting, really catchy, hummable melodies, guitar solos, everything that you want in a mid to late 80s rock album. So, yeah.
I think, a lot of 38 Special's best stuff it was all about the songwriting. So whether it was actually Southern rock, or whether you want to call it pop, or just good old fashioned hard rock, does it really matter? It's just they always, for the most part, had really good songs. That's what it was about.
That's it. Yeah. Hence that 30 years later, without any other hits, they can still tour those songs. Yeah. Anyhow, I think that Born Against Steel is an absolutely fantastic record from pretty much from start to finish. I think it's brilliant. I really like it. Again, there's one song on that I'd cheerfully never hear again, which is You Definitely Got Me. Nope, can't stand that one. But the opening single, Sound of Your Voice, great song. But what it does have on it is in the middle section, it's got 4 narrative songs. I'm a sucker for songs that have got a narrative about them, are telling a story. So it's got Rebel to Rebel, which for quite a while was my ringtone on my phone. Try finding that, by the way. Very difficult. Which is ostensibly about Skinner and about Ronnie Van Zant. One of the, frankly, millions of songs that are about them. It's great. It's a great song. Really like it. Tremendous guitar solo towards the end. It's got the title track, Born Against Steel. Who'd have thought that a catchy song about somebody being in a workplace accident would be such a winner. I mean, I've never done a day's hard labor in my life, but I really felt like I could put myself in the character's place there. Great song. You'll Be the Dam, I'll Be the Water, possibly the catchiest song ever written.
That's a big statement there.
I know. I'm putting it out there. It's one of those that it's one of, they call them earworms these days, don't they? Once you've listened to it, it's there for the rest of the day, week, month, year. It's definitely there. And then Jimmy Gillan, where Donny gets a song. Woo. And Jimmy's a bad kind of guy. He's a bad kind of guy. And after many years away, Donny bumps into him when he's pumping gas, and he knows what happened. Jimmy's going to start fighting, and he does. And I think it's just a great record. Particularly those 4 songs, and stack up against anything within the catalogue for me. You're convinced, I can tell.
I like 38 Special. But I will admit I haven't given the latter part of the catalog. I have most, if not all of it. I don't listen to the latter stuff as much, and I probably should. And after this conversation, I definitely will, because I've liked it all. I just don't go back to it as much as the later stuff. But you gotta, when you're looking at stuff like this, bands like this, and let's throw Skynyrd out there as well. You and I have talked many times via email or whatever about how really solid the latter period Skynyrd catalog is. And you and I have gushed tremendously over the last 5 years, or a little bit more, actually. I'm trying to think when the last album came out. The 2 most recent Outlaws albums. They're terrific. I mean, great. We know he's not there anymore, but it's a totally different band. It's almost like the Henry Paul band. But whether you call it the Outlaws or the Henry Paul band, they're terrific albums.
Yeah.
Right? And I've gone on record saying that I like a lot of the latter period Molly Hatchet stuff. It's basically, there's no surviving members anymore, and it is what it is. It's like a tribute band. But if you want to take the Molly Hatchet name off of it, these are good Southern rock records. That's what you want to hear in Southern rock. And so I guess my kind of plea, and I would assume yours as well, to 38 Special, is like, guys, get into the studio, make another friggin' album. Well, it's like, what do you got to lose? Why not, right?
Yeah, really just talking to Tom Boynes now, aren't you? He's the only one left, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, his solo album was excellent, by the way. The one that was delayed for 300 years. That was.
I heard it was really good. I haven't listened to it. Yeah, I heard it was quite good.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Again, not very Southern in the slightest, but good record. Good record.
And have you heard the Van Zandt Brothers albums at all? Those are pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to mention their country output in a minute if you're up for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
actually, because 38 have produced 2 live albums, live at Sturgis.
That's great. Yeah,
it is. You're right.
That's very good. I have that. That's very good.
It's a good record, which it's got a fantastic version of Rebel to Rebel on it. It's just outstanding. It's one of my son's favorite records, and my son doesn't like guitar music. I don't know how I brought him up like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did that happen?
It just, something went wrong. But that's very, very much one of his. If I let him touch the controls in the car, that's very much one of the songs he always goes for. It's great. It's a great record. I believe they didn't like it because it was a bit wet and windy, so they eventually made another one, Live from Texas.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, 2011. So good solid record. But remember, it's called Live from Texas, and they bring out Johnny Van Zandt at one point to sing "Help Somebody." They're the Van Zandt's country album. Partway through, he says something along the lines of, "Sing it for me, Clay County, Florida." A record called Live from Texas. So yeah.
Oops, who's the quality control guy in that album, huh? They failed miserably.
Maybe Johnny was only available for the one date or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, well, we know from history that, most of these live albums, they say they're from somewhere, and it's like their live album is never from one place. It's like we'll take a song from Cleveland, a song from Hammersmith, we'll take a song from Madison Square Garden, we'll put it all together. There's your live album, but don't call it Live from Texas if you got stuff from Florida or God knows where else. That's
I think it's
crazy.
just the one song, but nonetheless, halfway through.
Either that, or Johnny had a little too much to drink that night. And he wasn't really sure where he was, right? Which you never know, right? Now, Johnny's a very cool guy. I'm joking there.
Yeah. So great record. Really interesting melody. Medley partway through where they bring in some of the songs that Don Boynes wasn't actually on. So that's quite interesting to make it a little bit different. I could cheerfully never hear anybody do Back in the USA or Traveling Band again. Don't know why they had to track them on. They could have played some originals, but solid record. Very, very solid record.
Cool.
Everything post 86, pretty solid.
Cool. Well, that's that's the name of the show, right? So, post 8638 special is worth your time, and I absolutely agree. It's a classy band, no matter what era you really look at, and I think they always gave quality. So, they're one of those American treasures, I always like to say. But I say that about a lot of those Southern rock bands. That there's just something so Americana about them, and I think they're love for what they do and bringing the music to the people is what a lot of the Southern rock bands are really all about. And plus, I say this very selfishly because I love guitar oriented music. Most Southern rock bands deliver the 6-string firepower, and usually you get a couple guys who are just kind of really laying it down there. So I always kind of like that. So very, very cool. So you got some other stuff to talk about here as well. So non 38 special.
Yeah, just very quickly, you asked if there's anything I was listening to at the moment, and I'd just like to plug English proggers, Church of the Cosmic Skull. Yeah, I think they sound a bit like Peter Gabriel fronting Big Church. They're an independent band. I believe they've been asked by majors and bigger labels to join, but no, they do this kind of little DIY kind of thing, and the music's great. It's a bit weird, The current out there, I think this is the current one. It's called Everybody's Going to Die. So yeah, a little bit weird, but there you go. And as you can see, got that kind of churchy kind of vibe going on.
So
there.
is that song Sorcery and Sabotage on that? Because that's the only song I've heard by them, and that's actually a really cool song.
It is not on this one. Oh yeah, sorry, it is on this one. It's not on the next one. But that is there. But what is particularly cool about it is this is the vinyl. Look at that. How cool is that to have spinning away?
It's like molten cream of wheat or something. I don't know. What did I call it before we started taping? Just Simon showed.
You think you said cake mix splatter or something exactly. Like that?
Cake mix, yeah. Like cookie dough splatter or something like that. I have never seen anything like that before. Hold that up again. That's like out of control weird. Yeah, I can only imagine as that's spinning on your turntable how that looks.
Yeah, close up it looks like maybe ice cream.
Yeah, that could be vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, cool. And they've got more than one album, only one of which I've got with me, this is science fiction. Again, really just cool. It's really, really uncommercial music, but really thought-provoking and well worth somebody's time. And this one's, I'm afraid, just on normal blue
vinyl. Yeah, that's it.
But they're very, very English and very good.
And they've got, and again, I'm only going by the one song, the one video I watched, which was, like I said, Sorcery and Sabotage. I thought it had good hooks. Almost, and I'm afraid to even throw this out there, but I'm almost in the hook department. I was reminded a little bit of Uncle Acid and maybe a little bit of Ghost, but not sort of. But I think they're going for a kind of look because they're all wearing the white robes, and the singer guy, kind of looks like Jesus, and he's got a flying V. They've got the couple females in the band, right, doing backing vocals and stuff. There's keyboards. It's kind of rocking, but not. It's very retro, but not. I definitely want to hear more because, like I said, I was intrigued enough by listening to that and watching that. I was like, well, this is definitely unique. And they're from your neck of the woods, right? They're from
the Midlands, which is probably 100 and so miles away from where I am. So, yeah, from Nottingham.
Yes, we've all heard
where Robin Hood came from.
Very cool. So all right, so there you have it. You got a little rant on more recent 38 special and why you should listen to it, as well as a cool little tidbit of a new band that probably warrants your attention. So I want to thank Simon Bray for coming on the show again. We'll be seeing Simon again in a couple of weeks. I'm sure Simon's got some other new stuff that he wants to talk about as we're reviewing lots of stuff here, or especially on the webzine, www.seatranquility.org. And so we'll look forward to seeing Simon again in a couple of weeks. Simon, any last words for everybody here?
Thanks for tuning in. New Udo coming very, very soon.
Oh, well, that's something we'll be wanting to talk about. Yes, exactly. Cool.
It's a bit strange.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Udo never disappoints to release something that's worth talking about, regardless.
Absolutely.
Right? So Udo,
and it's not even a live album.
Oh, well, I think he's put out enough live albums in recent years, so it's, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so stay tuned for that. We'll be coming back in a couple of weeks. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. For Simon Bray, I am Pete Pardo. See you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.